I'm DJ Toro. Join me every Monday to Thursday, 7 until midnight. The premium classics on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Tonight, Prime Minister challenges polluting nations to step up and take action against climate change. Taxes imposed by China threaten Dalo exports, and Fijian military officers offered high-level postings in Golan Heights. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and you're watching FBC News. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has delivered a bold statement warning the international community that their continuing failure to notice the impact of climate change will mean the end for small island nations. With rising sea levels, the Pacific is yet again lobbying for the world to not only reduce their carbon emissions, but also to bear the costs of climate change. Christopher Chand reports.
This is a significant regional meeting for the Pacific, preparing them for next year's international conference on small island developing states. The biggest concern for the region, without a doubt, is climate change.
We are currently witnessing the world dragging its feet on the need to tackle global warming. Let me on your behalf say this to the big polluters, the big carbon emitters. Whatever the science of climate change, it is you who must respond to global warming, which threatens the very existence of some of our small island developing states.
Bainimarama says Kiribati has already been forced to buy 6,000 acres of land in Fiji due to the threat of rising sea levels, which could sink the entire nation.
Industrialized world to face up to its responsibilities and also to bear the cost of whatever consequences flow from their activities. We are not the carbon emitters, they are. So when we suffer adverse consequences, such as more frequent destructive hurricanes, we believe they should shoulder more of the cost.
Bainimarama says the global SIDS gathering in Samoa next year will be held during the same month as the elections in Fiji.
I hope for a happy coincidence, a successful election in Fiji that is free, fair and transparent, and an outcome in Samoa that advances the cause and gives renewed hope to the millions of people, of ordinary men and women in the small island developing states.
It's these delegates who will now work to form a united Pacific voice at the United Nations to urgently address issues like climate change. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Fiji's reputation in peacekeeping has been proven yet again. This time, a team of 10 soldiers have been chosen and approved by the UN to work at their office in the Golan Heights. As Ritika Pratap reports, the 10 have been given senior positions and are separate from the 500 deployed for peacekeeping duties.
The group of 10 soldiers are made up of captains and majors from the Republic of Fiji military forces, led by Naval Commander Lieutenant Colonel Humphrey Tawake.
Not only were we called in to provide troops as peacekeepers, but we were also asked to provide offices to the force headquarters, which is separated from the organization of troop contributing countries.
Colonel Moseseti Koitonga says this is evident of the high regard given to Fiji's peacekeepers around the world.
Been given the 10 positions, very senior positions in the force headquarters, which is again an indication that we are quite highly regarded in the UN.
Lieutenant Colonel Humphrey Tawake will be in charge of more than 5,000 personnel from different countries. The other 9 soldiers also hold senior positions, and according to Colonel Koitonga, this isn't the first time the UN has chosen Fijian soldiers for such high posts. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
2 people arrested in relation to the murder of 2 youths in Lambasa remain in custody. Police say the suspects are still being interrogated following their arrest yesterday. 21-year-old Abhishek Kumar and 17-year-old Samuel Nand were found dead in Thambia outside Lambasa on Sunday morning. The 2 best friends were missing from home since Friday. Post-mortem reports reveal the 2 died due to multiple serious injuries. Abhishek and Samuel were laid to rest today. The Agro-Marketing Authority is holding off buying dalo from local farmers due to problems with Chinese counterparts. Apisolomidokar reports China has implemented an import tax on goods shipped from Fiji.
The AMA says dalo exports to China have dwindled after China introduced the import tax on dalo and other produce sent from Fiji.
We're currently facing a problem with our Chinese counterparts at the moment, Chinese dalo market, due to the import tax that is levied on our dalo that's coming into China. Import tax is a way of limiting foreign goods from entering a country.
Alifretiaya says they visited the Prime Minister's office this morning hoping for assistance to get a waiver, at least for dalo exports.
Since we are in good relations with the Chinese government, we are requesting them to uplift the current import tax so that the Chinese market can enjoy whatever we can supply them.
The Agro-Marketing Authority and more worryingly the farmers that rely on the China market stand to lose their livelihood if the tax issues aren't sorted out.
Yes, due to that import tax of 30% from the Chinese government, that is lifting our retail price of dalo up to $6 a kg there in China, which is unaffordable to the Chinese, most of the Chinese people.
Yaya says only a few varieties of dalo are now being exported to Australia and New Zealand. Apisolomidokar, FBC News.
Police are investigating the alleged beating of a teenager in Nasese Suva last week for refusing to peddle drugs. It's alleged that the 14-year-old was approached by senior students from his school to help sell marijuana, and when he refused, they assaulted him. Police spokesperson Ananai Soro confirms the alleged incident happened last Thursday at around midday along the Nasese area. She says this is a serious concern, and investigators have been tasked to thoroughly look into the allegations. After the break, 1 in 3 people in the Pacific suffers from NCDs.
How would you like to spend your morning? You could spend your morning like this. Or you could spend it like this.
Tune in to the Morning Ride every weekday morning from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. right here on Today FM, Today's Seed Music.
Nimbula methango nimilote na isoro tambua na makiao minarua kinaona na veka vimoniti kina vakarambuka rongo mena biasana kina vibaga barota kinindre komalolo ena radio Fiji 1 na wongani pioniano ngai na makiao kina.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. Levuka's listing as UNESCO's World Heritage Site means we have more work to do. Fiji has been given 2 years to meet the targets and expectations of UNESCO. As Chanel Sivan finds out, failure to meet the requirements means deregistration.
The declaration was made at the 37th session of the World Heritage Committee meeting in Cambodia. Permanent Secretary for Heritage and Arts Dr. Brijlal says they have to report back to UNESCO in 2 years on what's being done to maintain Levuka.
There are a few things that they want us to do, which we are working on, and come 2015 we'll go back and report to them. We have also to look at all the existing buildings that are there, that they are kept in the same shape, and while they can make a renovation, but they keep to same shape and all that. And we also have to look at some of the archaeological sites and inventory for Levuka.
Dr. Lal has assured they will meet these targets before the deadline.
Whenever you want to declare any place as a World Heritage Site. There are 10 criteria set, and Levuka was meeting 2 out of that was really straight away relevant to the site. Met 90% of it at this stage. So come 2015, over 100% would have met.
A town planning scheme will map out how Levuka's historical site will be maintained, while Fiji's World Heritage Decree also needs to be amended in line with the UNESCO's declaration. Fiji is also now able to access a special fund under UNESCO for projects in Levuka. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Non-communicable diseases in the region still remain a concern to the health authorities. At a recent Pacific Health Ministers meeting in Samoa, participants were told that regional countries need to step up in educating people about the effects of NCDs. Shireen Lata reports.
1 in 10 adults around the world suffers from diabetes. However, it's worse in the Pacific, with 1 in 3 adults having diabetes. In past surveys, it was 1 out of 5.
We are very concerned that the recent STEP survey shows a very high incidence of obesity in our country. And obesity which is leading to cardiovascular diseases, an increased amount of cancer.
A lack of exercise and failing to eat proper meals are some of the contributing factors. And the health minister says this is now having an impact on the quality of people's lives.
People have difficulties in pregnancy, falling pregnant, or when they do fall pregnant, a lot more complications in pregnancy, diabetic mothers face. Then you have problems of premature morbidity, heart attacks in young people, strokes in young people, and premature death.
The health ministry is now making sure that the tests for sugar, blood pressure, and blood cholesterol tests are readily available at the health centers. It's also training staff to inform leaders in the community about necessary steps for changed behavior and lifestyle. As part of a wellness program, the ministry will be launching a diabetic hub in Suva, Lambasa and Lautoka tomorrow. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
The World Bank's Executive Director for Southeast Asia Group, Dr. Sundaran Annamalai, was in the country to hold meetings with the Reserve Bank and the Finance Ministry. This was one of the regular visits by the Executive Director, with the main focus being to understand the economic situation and look at the developments taking place. Dr. Annamalai says he had a fruitful discussion with the RBF and the Finance Ministry and now better understands the priority areas where assistance can be provided.
We want the bank to be able to support what are the priorities of the client countries. So basically, to hear it from you would enable me to make a better representation to our system. The engagement here will be aligned with what the client needs.
Dr. Annamalai says the various reform initiatives taken by the government is positive and will strengthen the Fijian economy further. The Civic Towers office building in Victoria Parade, Suva, had to be evacuated this afternoon after a small fire. The fire at around 3 p.m. was situated on the balcony of the 3rd floor and was put out by people in the building. 3 fire trucks were dispatched to the scene and firefighters inspected the entire floor before the green light was issued and people were allowed back in. The building houses the office of the Minister for Women and the Independent Legal Services Commission, among others. The cause of the fire is unknown at this stage. Muslims around the country will mark the month of Ramadan and begin fasting from tomorrow. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, when Muslims abstain from food and water from dawn to dusk. Fiji Muslim League's National President Hafiz Uddin Khan says the new moon was not sighted yesterday, therefore Ramadan begins a day after. The month of fasting ends with prayers and celebrations on Eid. And we join Jamie now with the day's sports.
Good evening. Coming up, the FRU will go on a hunt for the next HPU manager and says Ndere was retained for continuity. And in boxing, lucky unknown to receive a big payout for PNG fight. That and more after the break.
Isambol binaka, na dango wadi soni nalai, na makio mani wasini ngono borota kina lali ne kabi, mai na tolu kina bitu, ena moni tingina por rombuka, ena mbula FM, na bandu ena serre.
सूरज की पहली किरण के साथ दिन की शुरुआत कीजिए। सुबह का मंगल प्रभात आपको शुभ हो। सुबह सुबह हो खुशियों का मेला, ना लोगों की परवाह ना दुनिया का झमेला। पंछियों का संगीत हो और मौसम अलबेला। मुबारक हो आपको ये खूबसूरत सवेरा। हर सोमवार से लेकर शुक्रवार तक सुबह 6 से लेकर 9 बजे तक शामिल रहें रेडियो FBC पर हम सफर में रविंद्र सिंह के साथ।
Welcome back here with FBC Sports. The Fiji Rugby Union says a headhunt could take place to find a replacement for outgoing high-performance unit manager Mike Ryan. Ryan resigned from the post last week after only being appointed in January.
As per his contract, he has to give a few months advance notice before he resigns. But the normal process is that we will have to look for a possible replacement during this period. So that is the process that will take place. We will probably advertise or headhunt for a potential replacement for Mike.
Meanwhile, Wangambada says Alibreti Ndere has been retained as coach of the national sevens team for the mini games because they want continuity.
Board has made the decision for continuity's sake, we will still retain him for the mini games, and then thereafter the normal process of determining the coaches and the managers for the season beforehand will take place.
Meanwhile, the FRU board meeting will take place tomorrow in Suva. Becoming Oceania's first to receive the International Olympic Committee Women in Sport Award and being one of the 5 in the world to do so is something that's just sinking in for physiotherapist Kathy Wong. Now back at home and with a unique memento from Switzerland, she's already conjuring up ideas to inspire women to aspire in life through sport. Elena McDonald reports.
Give them a list of female athletes. The love for her profession and her desire to volunteer are a few reasons for Kathy Wong's many successes. Thanks to the women in Fiji and the women in Oceania, I was able to get this because they're the one that nominated me and they were the one that enabled me to do the work that I was able to do. Recognized for promoting gender equality in sports, the IOC award, made from marble, bronze and even gold, is one memento worth showing off. It is very heavy, so it's not you have to kind of lift it. My husband actually weighed it. It's 5.4 kilograms. And getting it from Lausanne was a trip well worth the travel time. This time it was the reverse. Someone else was running around for me, looking after me, picking up my luggage. Most of all, meeting with other award recipients became an experience in itself. And for somebody like that from Thailand to introduce women into weightlifting and the struggle she had to go through to get the Thai people to understand that weightlifting is for anybody, not just for men. The buck doesn't stop here, with new plans being formulated to carry on breaking the barriers of sport for women in Fiji. The biggest things that I would like to give to the women is they must educate themselves. Education is cornerstone to everything now. So yes, you can have all of this, but if you don't have basic education or even education nowadays is the tip of your fingers. And even till today, I'm still learning. A statement that couldn't be further from the truth. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
The Suva football side has been boosted by the inclusion of former national rep Esaba Nangeletha. Nangeletha, who was playing for Wairarapa United in New Zealand, will arrive into the country today and could face Mba in the Fiji Sun GP Batteries National League on Friday night at the NZ Stadium. Suva coach Gurjit Singh says Nangeletha, if included, will beef up the Whites' defense against the Men in Black. The Boxing Commission of Fiji is offering a lifeline to local boxers. This comes after they handpicked a virtually unknown fighter for a lucrative title fight in Papua New Guinea. Salen Dadakadaka reports.
Although he only has 2 professional bouts under his belt, Iosefo Kaunivalu will be flying Fiji's flag this Sunday in Papua New Guinea. He will be facing off against John Declan of PNG for the vacant WPPF Asia Pacific title in the 160 pounds weight category.
Nick is also trying to build his fighter, and he asked for a professional boxer with not more than 4 fights. So as the chairman did mention, we had scrutinized it and gone through our records, and hence our selection of Iosefo.
Boxing Commission says they have initiated this fight and may do so in future to ensure the fighters' welfare.
Boxer, who is probably the major stakeholder in the sport of professional boxing, is protected in every way. His interests, his financial interest is protected. His interests as a boxer and as a sporting person is being protected because the commission, through the work of Mala and of course Major Kafua, looks at the criteria in which he will box under in whatever particular country he goes to.
Meanwhile, the Kaunivalu is expected to receive $5,000 from this fight, regardless of the result. Although he is unaware of the capabilities of his opponent, he is looking forward to putting on a good show.
Open the door for me to go and fight in abroad, overseas, especially it's a title fight, and I'm well prepared that I'm well prepared that I'm going to represent our country, that God will lead me into the ring as well, and He'll lead everything when I go inside the ring.
The Kaunivalu leaves on Friday with his trainer for PNG. Hopefully this could be the start of bigger and more lucrative fights for our local boxers. Talendo Takataka, FBC Sports.
2 New Zealand-based players have been named in the Fiji Under-21 netball side for the World Youth Championships to be played in Scotland next month. New Zealand-based Kula Tambete and Loselini Tuifangalele joined 10 local players at the World Meet. Current national reps Rachelin Dabewa and Unai Siroluni are also in the side, along with former national goal shooter Afa Rusivakula.
I'm glad that we've made the final selection. It's been a long process, but Netball Fiji have selected the best available players that we have here in our country. And yes, like I said, it's good to have to name the team and a good mixture of experienced players. We see 3 of the players that's been in the national team already, and also with the young ones that are coming up. So yeah, all I can say is right now is we have faith in these players and the team that we selected.
Yes, South Africa, Israel and Namibia. That was your sports for tonight. Good evening.
The Water Authority of Fiji has introduced 2 more services to make it easier for customers to access information. With the new e-billing system, people can check their accounts over the internet using the website www.waterauthority.com.fj. Chief Executive Opetai Ravai confirms that they've come up with a mobile shortcode of 5777 for Vodafone users to get information on water services in Fiji. This is a charge service.
So the 5777 is specifically for Vodafone, those who have chosen Vodafone, because we do not choose for the customer. They choose whatever network provider they subscribe to. So the Vodafone customers, it's easier, 5777. For those who are not on the Vodafone network, they use the usual 334677.
The Water Authority will be doing public awareness on these new services. Weather time now, and Jen, it looks like we have strong wind warning on our hands.
Indeed we do, Jackie. We'll take a look at that in a second. But first things first, not a raindrop in sight today for all our major centers. Even Suva and Savusavu got in on the act. The 2 centers had just a brief period of cloudiness. A case of the triple ripple in the west today. Nandi, Lautoka and Ba were on 30, while Ambassa had the highest temperature on 33 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast sees those showers headed for Suva and the Hidden Paradise again. However, the rain should die down right after lunch. About that wind warning, Jackie, it remains in force for southwest Viti Levu and southern Lao waters, Kandavu and Vatuira passages, and Koro Sea. The Garden Island is the place to be this evening. Semi Naisau captured the breathtaking Boma waterfalls in Taviuni recently. Perfect for a postcard. That was weather. Keep sending those pictures in. And remember, stay safe and stay smiling.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. A quick recap of the headlines. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has challenged polluting nations to take responsibility and commit to ending climate change. Dalo exports to China threatened by new import taxes imposed in China. 10 Fijian military officers given high-level postings in Golan Heights. To the poll question now, and we ask, Are public transport buses in Fiji safe to travel in? www.fbc.com.fj is the place to visit to have your say. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. Until tomorrow, good night.
आपकी शादी होने वाली है। 5 बच्चे होंगे। 5 हाय, मैं हूँ आपकी सहेली वेनू। सुनते रहिए मिर्च एफएम। मैं हूँ ना 9 से 12 बजे तक।